Watch this video, then we'll talk.
I'm on a date and his car just got towed. I'm just so funny. I'm stressed.
Okay, so a lot happened in that video, and some of what I want to talk about is actually in that video, but there's so much historical context that I have thought about, but there's an extra piece that just came together after I saw that video. So first, yes, I am in the bathroom. I wanted to make this video before I lost this thought, so we're gonna move past that. Two, homegirl has been making posts, kind of updating people, the one that was recording the video. Long story short, the car that got towed wasn't even that man's car. I don't know whose car it was. Could have been his wife's, could have been his friend's. Regardless, not his. And he was like, oh, I don't have to go and get the car today or tonight. And she was like, no, you better go get that car tonight, because by tomorrow the price might double for you to get that car back. So she drove him to and I'm like, you should have let that man Uber. This is not your monkey nor your circus. Go home. Next point. I want to talk about friendship. I want to talk about the magic that is female friendship. Now, these two ladies did not know each other. This is just the magic of the ladies' bathroom. Now, most women that have been to a public women's bathroom have a story of just bonding, of just immediate, spontaneous, hilarious, sometimes weepy bonding. 10 out of 10. I adore it. There are a bunch of people in the comment section that was like, oh, you just found your best friend, or this is how I met my best friend. And I'm like, honestly, vibes. But this also leads to a thing that I want to talk about that has a larger historical context that a lot of people don't know as it relates to women's bathrooms. So my specific context for this comes from a trip that I did to Turkey, as I was so I'm a journalist and I write a lot about the intersections of travel and politics. And for this trip, I was going to Turkey to learn more about their beverage history. Now, while I was there, I also got to have some really interesting conversations about hammams. So for people who don't know, a hammam is basically it's a bathhouse. It's like a public bathhouse that is very common in different Islamic countries. And for people that don't know, Turkey is very interesting in that technically it is, I think, the only country that is broken up into three major regions. It is European, it is Asian, and it is Middle Eastern. So there's a little bit of all of these cultures intertwined into one country. So as I was traveling through Turkey, I got to go to a historic hammam and learned a little bit about the history of bathhouses in this specific context. So one of the things about hammams that is, I don't know how commonly known it is among Islamic countries, but so hammams, public bathhouses, generally separated by the biological sexes. So men's and women's, or male and female bathhouses. Historically speaking, did you know that there is a long-standing history of women politically organizing in hammams, because they were the only, or maybe not the only, but one of the only spaces that women were able to gather and organize and commune and talk without men being present and for extended periods of time. In these spaces, women were able to share and gather resources, build community, talk, make plans for their futures and how that was going to look. And obviously, the men hated that. But I don't think that this story is unique to Islamic countries, or this history is unique to Islamic countries, because we are seeing this kind of thing play out in real time in the video that we just saw. This woman went on a date. The recording woman went on a date, and he was a bum. And she was able to speak the truth of what was going on this date and immediately build community. Have somebody see her, laugh with her. I'm sure, I mean, honestly, it might have been funny in the moment, but it's even funnier when you're tee-hee-heeing with another lady. During this date, potentially felt alone, felt isolated, felt oh my God, what, embarrassed to a degree. Imagine you're sitting on a date across the table from whoever. It could be a fancier place, could not be, does not matter for the sake of this. But then he gets a call that his car is towed. And you're like, how did I get here? And then you go to the bathroom to be like, how did I get here? And then immediately a woman comes up and goes, bitch. It's this kind of community that I think makes men so fearful. And then on top of that, I think that it is this kind of community that, I mean, mind you, there's a whole bunch of incredibly transphobic reasons why people are like, oh yeah, trans women shouldn't be in the bathrooms. But I'm also thinking that, like, as a bathroom being a very small, but also very like culturally important community gathering space for women. Imagine if there was a space where women of all backgrounds were able to gather and have conversations and spill tea and just tee hee hee and build community with each other without the presence of a booga. Like, thinking about the history of hammams, like these were places of, yes, relaxation and definitely laughter and friendship and community, but also these were spaces where they could plan for their futures together. Like, of course, men would not want that in a society that is advancing in a way where the men that can't keep up are getting left behind. And in a way where, like, let's put transness on a shelf right now, just so that way, like, I can create some building blocks for the people that might not get this, right? So when Black women have told white women that their men's racism will affect them, and then white women historically go, no, 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 that's not a problem for me because I'm all milky and perfect. And then eventually their anti-Blackness, their racism has started to affect them. And they go, oh my goodness, I should have listened. And that goes for people, honestly, people of all backgrounds, unfortunately, including within our own community. Anybody that is anti-Black woman, so vocally and painfully anti-Black woman, their misogynoir will affect you. And it'll come out in odd ways that we are currently seeing in the United States via policy. I have a whole other video listing some examples. I'll try to tag it up here. But we go, as a marginalized group that is specifically targeted, we want y'all to know that our realities will affect you, because hate does, like, it can seem specifically targeted to a specific group, but at the end of the day, it's just hate, and it finds a way to leak its way into every other space. And that will eventually become your space. Sometimes quicker, sometimes it might take a week or two, but it'll get there. So we take this, right? Black women saying, listen to us. We have unfortunately seen the nastiness that this kind of hate comes with. And people say, oh, we don't want to listen to y'all. We're different from you. We're different from you. And then now it's like being seen in policy. Now you get trans people, you get trans women saying, hey, the anti-transness, the self-loathing that men feel when they happen to be attracted to trans women, and then they take that out on us and they kill us. I think in the United States, the estimated lifespan of a trans woman is 35 years old. 35 years old. And that's not because they're all getting cancer or whatever. No, they're getting unalived. I don't want that. We should not want that. And that is male violence. So the trans community has the ability to give us information that, let's say, cis Black women were trying to give information. And we're saying, oh, no, 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 we don't want that. We don't have the space to be able to gather and share said information that they have. And there are spaces where we could have that information. And I'm not saying that the bathroom is going to fix all of our problems just because I'm sitting in a bathroom. But I am saying that social politics sits in the minutia. And we are surrounded by these kinds of minutia that affect us every single day, some of which bring us joy, others of which bring us strife. And if we start to pay attention to some of these little things, we could start to see the patterns in the bigger things that these that these specific, angry, hateful people are moving towards. So those are my thoughts. If you would like to give me a gift, ways to do that are in the description. If you would like to follow me on other platforms or take my course, that's also in the description. When I say stay safe out there, I mean it with my chest, guys. Now I'm going to finish this poop.